Hello everyone, so it looks like there is going to be a series of brand new Titan kits released in Titanfall 2 starting next week, I believe on Wednesday if I remember correctly. We're going to have one new unique kit for every single Titan, so I wanted to go ahead and cover just my first impressions and predictions on where they're going to actually lie within the metagame. If you have not seen this article yet, you don't know what all the DLC package is going to be entailing, which, by the way, is completely free for everyone that owns Titanfall 2, go ahead and go down in the description box down below. There'll be a link where you can see all the cool new details. Now, let's go right ahead into it. Each of the 6 new Titan kits, my first thoughts, completely unscripted. Here we go. Hopefully I don't go too long. Ion refraction lens. Splitter rifle splits 5 ways. I don't really think this is one I'm ever going to use seriously at all. I never use the split version of the splitter rifle anyways, unless I'm completely out of options and I don't have enough energy for a laser shot and I must do big damage to a Ronin that's just WM1ing me. That's the only time I ever pull out the splitter portion of the splitter rifle. I am hesitant to recommend choosing a version that buffs this. Generally with Ion, the way you want to play is you want to just poke with laser shot over and over. You want to just stay behind cover, poke out, boop them with laser shot, and go right back behind cover, and then just not reveal yourself. Continuously laser shot over and over and over until you have laser core built up. And then you just walk in with your vortex shield up, dash a couple times, and you're firing your laser, and you steamroll through their team, and you rinse and repeat until you lose your Ion. It's all about that laser shot. So this is an attempt at making the splitter rifle a little bit more relevant, a little bit more like the primary weapon it was intended to be. So the questions that I have are the following. 1, does it use more energy than the standard 3-way split? 2, how does the damage differ amongst this version of the gun as opposed to the regular version? So, for example, I don't know the exact damage numbers offhand, but let's just make some up. Let's say that the splitter rifle does 20 damage per shot with the regular single-fire primary version with 1 ball per trigger pull, right? When you use the 3-way split, the damage of each ball drops to something like 8 or 10 or 12, something like that maybe, relatively. And it's less damage per shot, but if all 3 hit, you're dealing a lot more than if the single version was used. I'm not really sure how the 5-way split is going to work. Is the 5-way split going to keep the same damage profile as the 3, but just add 2 more balls? Or is it going to split the damage up even more? My third question is, how does it affect the spread? Does your spread become wider with the 2 extra balls being added to the sides? Or is it the same bounds? Is it the same accuracy with every individual energy ball being packed more tightly together? Those are the 3 main questions that you need to look at and answer for yourself to figure out if this is actually an ability worth using in a lot of cases. But I honestly don't think that revealing yourself for long periods of time and just walking in a straight line on enemies using the super splitter rifle is the way to go. I feel like the only time that makes sense is when you're dealing so much DPS that they have to run away and not shoot back at you, and that's what the laser core is for. So I think it's all about laser shots with Ion still. I don't believe that this is going to be impactful enough to actually warrant picking up in a lot of situations, unfortunately. Next up, let's go on to Scorch, and man, I could really rant about this one for a long period of time because Scorch is my dude, but I'll try and keep it short. Scorched Earth. Flame core ignites the ground, leaving thermite in its wake. I kind of feel like this is a trap of a selection, and here's why. We already have an ability that allows you to shut down areas for long periods of time in Firewall. And we have a perk already that allows us to make that last a longer period of time. So why wouldn't we just use that one when we have Firewall on a much shorter cooldown, and we can more easily intermix that with incendiary traps in our primary gun and flame shield and whatever to deny space? Why do we need the ultimate to also deny space? I feel like in defensive roles it may be useful on Eden. Like if you're playing Eden and you're on the side of the map that has that really closed in battery and it's like that one small choke point next to the B hard point, I suppose that if you're a Scorch holding that particular lane, Scorched Earth could be really good because it's really easy to bounce the barrels around corners and off of the really high walls to get behind particle walls, and you can actually get some decent ult charge. But in general, against really good players, and in every other situation ever, Scorch has a lot of difficulty building ultimate charge outside of modes with minions. So if you're playing Attrition or Bounty Hunt, then never mind. Scorch gets cores for free like crazy, and this is actually kind of a good ability. But If you're playing the more serious game modes like Hardpoint, like CTF, like LTS, building your core is Scorch is hard, man. Like, if you're playing as like worse players, then yeah, it's easier to do. But against really good players, Scorch cores are hard to get. They're just, it's hard. I can say it a million times, but it's not going to change my meaning. So we'll go ahead and move on. It's just, I don't know when you're going to get value out of this. It's you're gonna in a lot of cases only get one core as Scorch. And adding some fire that just stays on the ground for an extra period of time is not going to make it better. In the situations where you get like a big flank with Scorch and that fire on the ground is going to just give you huge value, you're already winning the game. Like, say, for example, these clips on Complex? I think it's called Complex that I'm playing now. Where I'm just steamrolling an enemy team. I'm using all my abilities. I'm using the fire shield, and I'm just building a core really fast, slamming the ground with a core, building another one really fast, and slamming the ground with a second core, and just destroying the entirety of the enemy team. I never would have needed Scorched Earth in that situation. Using back-to-back flame cores was already so disgustingly overpowered that I didn't need to have this ability. But what enabled me to do this stuff is actually the enhanced flame shield. So I don't see a situation where the Scorched Earth perk is going to actually give you big amounts of value. I don't know where it's going to give you more value than extra flame shield. I don't know where it's going to give you more value than even extra duration on your firewall. Because if you're just trying to shut down lanes better, just use the extra duration on firewall and you're fine. You're Gucci. Like, I don't know where this fits in and why you would pick it. I have to rate this very low, unfortunately, but, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe if you're playing a lot of attrition and bounty hunt, you can kill a lot of minions, this is going to be disgustingly good, and I say disgusting a lot. I know, I'm sorry. It's a bad habit. I got to get rid of it. It's so good at nuking enemy titans because you're going to be killing so many minions and getting cores so fast in those modes that anytime you see an enemy titan, it's just press V to delete, or whatever your titan drop key is. It's just it is really good in those game modes. So I can't rate it too poorly. I guess I have to give it some credit for other game modes as well, and I think it's going to perform very nicely there. So I would recommend you try it in those. As for Northstar, we have threat optics. Enemies are highlighted while zooming in. Now, at first glance, what I thought this meant is that you're going to have a map hack whenever you're aiming down sights with Northstar, but as I put my reading comprehension hat on, I realized that this is probably the exact same thing as the threat scope that most guns in the game have, where when you aim down sights with it, enemies just glow, their entire body glows a bright red if you have vision on them already. So that's probably what this is actually going to do. I feel like maybe you can gain some good value from this on Homestead if you're able to see through the branches of trees with it, or on other maps that have, like big trees and branches and just foliage that blocks view, but it's not actually like a wall. For example, maybe on Boomtown, all the trees and foliage there. If you can use threat optics to see through those and see enemies through them, this is a fantastic Titan kit for those maps in particular. And this seems really, really strong. But if you're not playing on a map like that, or it doesn't work that way, then I'm not really sure where you're going to gain value from this. Like, for example, if you're playing Northstar on another really good map for her, which is 4-base Kodai, there's no occlusion anywhere where this is going to help you to get a better bead on targets. And the map is also so bright that it's so easy to see enemy titans on it that this is never going to give you value. So I'm interested to see how this actually plays out in practice, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on this one. As for Tone's burst loader, this one says when you aim with the 40mm, you can store up to 3 shots with burst fire. So this is very similar to Northstar's primary weapon in that as you aim down sights with it, you charge it up. There's a maximum amount of charge, and then you can pull the trigger whenever you want, and the gun will fire with varying levels of power depending on how long you were aiming down sights with it. So Tone's burst loader is going to allow you to do some really, really cool hit and run tactics where you pre-aim before a corner, dash out from the corner, shoot a burst, shoot a bunch of rockets, and then dash back behind cover, all before they can even really reliably react. And you can probably even throw in a sonar pulse in there as well. What you might do is fire the triple shot, sonar pulse, dash back, and then rocket over the wall that you're behind in order to hit the enemy titans that are, wherever you're trying to flank them at. Could be really cool, but I don't know. I think that this is a lot lower value than every single one of Tone's other kits. Like, why not just engage in the front line like where Tone is kind of supposed to, and leave the side play, the poking play, the hit and run play to Ronin and Ion and Northstar where it kind of belongs. Tone should probably be on the front line in a lot of cases, and I guess it's a cool side grade. It allows her to do some stuff that she couldn't do that well before, so I'm always a big fan of that, but I don't feel like it's, again, going to be like the meta pick. I still think that buffing your vortex or your particle wall is going to be the way to go in most situations. As for Legion, we have Hidden Compartment, and this says the power shot holds 2 charges. Seems fine. It seems like a pretty good side grade to the enhanced magazine size. So you have 140 rounds of mag instead of 100. It seems like your potential damage output is pretty much the same using either of these. But it just depends on how you want to use it. Do you enjoy using Power Shot more than aiming down sights and just holding left click at somebody? If so, then Hidden Compartment may be for you. If you like just left clicking people, then maybe Hidden Compartment is not for you and you go for the extra ammo or something else. But this definitely does not seem like a trap. It definitely doesn't seem like a bad pick. I think this is probably like the best balanced and best designed of all of the options for Legion. It's as simple as giving the power shot 2 charges. Like, what's not to love? As for Ronin, we have the phase reflex, and this is probably the coolest of the bunch. When you become doomed as Ronin, Ronin phases out of danger. Pretty simple, right? So it seems fine, again, right? It seems good. So it's not something that I would pick in a lot of situations, but maybe if you're trying to play, like, you know, Highlander Ronin, then this could be the one for you, or you could dash in with your sword core and just mash on people. And if you get doomed, then you go into that phase reflex, you know instantly, okay, I'm doomed. I have a second to think and reposition myself and plan what my next attack is going to be. And then you can know when you come out of that, you know, do I need to run away? Can I just stay in and continue fighting? It's also going to prevent those really awkward times where you're sword coring somebody and you mistime your sword and then you get executed. And that always feels so bad, and it makes me so tilted when I'm playing Ronin if I'm sword coring somebody and I get executed. Like, what the hell? Like, I doom them and I hit him with my sword and I don't deal enough damage to kill him in one shot, and then they kill me back. Like, what the hell? So this will help a lot in those situations, I feel. Is it worth picking over, you know, double arc waves or over faster recharge time on your phase dash? Not convinced, but I'll definitely be playing with it, and I'll definitely be trying it out. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it. I don't want to ramble too long and make this into a 30-minute video because you all know I can do that very easily. Just thanks for watching. I'd love to hear your comments down below as to how you feel these are going to play out and what you feel are the really, really strong options here and why you think that or why you think they're bad. I just want to have a cool discussion because my one opinion is definitely flawed in a lot of ways, and I'm sure that we can come together and get some cooler ideas here. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.